Hello guys, my name is Madhur and welcome to my channel. This is the 47th tutorial in the series of tutorials on Unix shell scripting. In this tutorial, we are going to learn to switch the default input stream from the keyboard to a text file, right? And for the sake of this tutorial, I've created a text file in the home folder and it's called text. And let me just use cat to show the contents of it. So I have my terminal here, and when I type in cat space text and press the enter key, I see the contents of my file, and there are 4 sentences in the file at the moment, and the 4 sentences are: I'm feeling dizzy tonight, I didn't get proper sleep during the day, the dog in my street seems to be at rest tonight, he isn't barking, and I think I'll have some Italian food for lunch tomorrow. That's the fourth statement. So one thing that I want you guys to observe here is that when you use cat to see the output from a text file on the terminal, cat doesn't display line numbers, right? And there is no option that you can use with the cat command that shows line numbers along with the text from a text file, right? So if you want to see line numbers in your text file while you're using cat in the terminal, then you'll have to do something else, and we're going to build a shell script that's gonna do the job for us. So I have my text editor here. Now I've saved this file in the home folder. It's called read and has the extension sh. Now, when you change the default input stream from the keyboard to a text file, you do that using the command exec, and that's EXEC, right? And every time you do that, you have to type in exec and then the lesson symbol, that is the inward redirection operator, and then you have to type in the name of the file from which you wish to receive input, right? So what I'm going to do first in the script is I'm going to use echo to ask the user to input a file name to me. Enter a file name, right? And I'm going to store the input in a variable called fname. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to validate the input, and by that I mean I'm going to check if the input that has been provided consists of more than 0 characters or not, right? So it has to have more than 0 characters if it is valid input, and my test condition for that is going to be -z space $fname, and since fname is most likely to have a string, I'm gonna put the value $fname within double quotation marks. And let me make this an if statement, and on line 4 I'll have to type in the keyword then to get inside the if block, and if the number of characters in the input that has been provided is 0, then we won't do anything. We'll just type in exit on line 5, and what that would do is it would just terminate the script's execution, right? On line 6 we'll get out of the if block by typing in the keywords fi, and well, if this if block doesn't execute, then we're good to go. And that's why on line 6 what I'm gonna do first is I am gonna save the current terminal settings in a variable called terminal. And maybe I've discussed this in this course and I don't really remember, but tty is the command that contains information about the current terminal settings, right? So I'll have to type in tty, and I'll have to assign the settings to a variable terminal, and I do that by typing in terminal is equal to tty. But since tty is a command and since terminal is a variable, you can't simply have this. You'll have to put tty within reverse quotes, and what this would do is it would fetch the output of the command tty and it will assign the output to the variable terminal, right? So now we can change our input stream, and I told you guys that we do that using exec. So I'll type in exec here and then the inward redirection operator, and you just have to type that once, and then the name of the file, which in this case is stored in the variable fname. So I'll type in $fname here, right? On line 12 I'm going to create a variable called count, and I'll give it the value 1 since we want to start displaying our line numbers 1 onwards. But this variable is not going to be my control variable for the loop, and since we are not listening from the keyboard, we're gonna have the while statement in a slightly different format this time. So I'll type in the keyword while on line 14, and then I'll type in the keyword read, and we're doing this because we want to read the contents from the text file, right? So read goes there, and then I'll type in my control variable, which can be anything, but I'm going to call it line. So while read line, that's going to be the syntax for the while statement. On the next line, I'll type in the keyword do, which is a part of the while syntax. And on line 16, I'm just going to echo out the variable, the control variable for the loop, which is line. So echo $line. And on line 17, I'll type in the keyword done. Now, how do we display the line numbers here? We do that by typing in $count immediately before the control variable, which is line, and I'll separate the two by putting a full stop in between. And since we don't want to display 1 for all the lines, we want to increment our line numbers. I'll have to use expr to increment the value of the variable count. And I do that by typing in expr space $count plus 1, and remember to put a space immediately before and after the addition symbol there. And I'll assign this value, this new value, for each iteration to the variable count again. And since expr $count plus 1 is a mathematical expression, I'll have to put the entire thing within reverse quotes, right? And after we are finished displaying the contents of the text file and along with the line numbers, what we would have to do is we would have to restore the original settings back again. And you do that by typing in exec again, and then you'll have to type in the name of your variable in which you stored the settings before changing your input stream. And remember, in this script I stored the settings in the variable terminal, and I did that by typing in this code at line 8. So exec space $terminal would do the job for me, and I'll save this file. Now I'll bring up my terminal here, and let me first clear the screen. And the name of the script file is read, so in order to execute it, I'll have to type in sh space read with the extension sh. And when I press the enter key, the shell asks me to provide a file name, and text is a file that I created in the home folder, so I'm just going to provide that as the input. But before I do that, let me just show you guys what happens when I don't type in any character and I just press the enter key. Nothing happens. My $prompt is returned back to me, and that means that the exit statement in the if block got executed, right? Because the length of the character input that I provided was 0. But if I provide valid input such as text, which is the name of a file in my home folder, and press the enter key, then you see that this time I see line numbers and I also see the content. So line 1 has I'm feeling dizzy tonight, line 3 has the dog in my street seems to be at rest tonight, and line 4 has the final sentence. So this is one method of displaying line numbers on screen, but this script or this tutorial wasn't to discuss how to display line numbers for text files on screen, but it was to discuss the significance of the exec command and how you can switch the default input stream from the keyboard to a text file, and how you can restore the settings back by the command that you see on line 20 in the shell script. So I hope you guys had fun watching this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we're going to discuss something interesting and important again. Thank you so much for watching this one. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel.